Shalom. First and foremost, I like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shatia from the Chicago camp coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And this was a very interesting video. And if I remember correctly, this guy is actually I think he's like a home inspector, but don't quote me on that. But I do know that this guy is, or should I say, this guy does participate in some aspect of the housing industry. Okay. And he's going to give a grim outlook on the future of housing, and it matches up with what Klaus Cotton Swab said in his World Economic Forum speech about how you will own nothing and be happy. So we'll let this man speak. I think this video was just under 5 minutes. So we're going to let this man speak, and then we'll get some scripture.
Something about the next 20 years that you should know. The prices of everything are insane right now. And there are a lot of people that think that housing is a bubble that's going to burst and that houses are overpriced. And I've been hearing a lot of comments on my videos about how just the prices of houses right now are insane. But let me tell you something. That isn't going to come down anytime soon. This isn't a bubble. And let me tell you why. Right now, we all know there's inflation. And I've been paying attention to a lot of metrics and a lot of data. And one of the things that's very interesting is how the average age of building contractors used to be much younger. It used to be 28 to 34, I think, was the range of the average building contractor. And more young people have been getting out of the business. And right now, the average age of the average building contractor is, I believe it is now 38 to 46 or something like that, right? So the contractors that are building homes are getting older and older, and the younger people are not coming into the business. That means that there are fewer people building homes. On top of it, the cost of materials has skyrocketed in the last 3 years, which means it's no longer profitable to build homes, so there are fewer homes being built. All of the cheaper options for building homes or dropping homes on land, like mobile homes, manufactured homes, or even log cabins, all of those have gone skyrocket. So nobody can afford to put those in anymore. It used to be for $50,000-$60,000 you'd be done. You could put a mobile home in. Can't do it anymore. Now it's $120,000. It's doubled. All right. Now think about this, just the sheer math of this. Every baby that's being born would need a house to live in someday. And right now we are not building one house for every baby. And so however you want to figure the math, our population is outpacing our construction of new homes. Now, on top of it, there's a couple other things that are, driving this supply and demand imbalance. You've got Airbnb. Airbnb all by itself takes a large percentage of homes right out of the equation. These are homes that are sitting vacant and can no longer really be rented as typical rentals, and they're not being sold because now they're investment properties. You look around at the corporate buy-up of all the homes. There are corporations and smart investors and speculators that know exactly what I'm telling you right now is true. And right now the corporations are buying up all the homes, which is why the bidding wars are happening. Why? Because they're going to turn them into rentals. Because if you haven't noticed, there's also a rental crisis. So we have a human housing crisis in this country right now that is only going to get worse over the next 10 to 15 years. There's going to be a huge imbalance, which means prices are going to skyrocket for homes. No matter what you think the prices are right now, no matter how insane you think the housing prices are right now, it is going to double or triple in the next 10 to 15 years. And that's really crazy when you think about it, because everything else has been exploding. So how are we going to afford any of this stuff? I don't know the answer to these questions, but here's what I do know. I know that I'm very thankful that I bought my farm in New York in 2018, and it has already tripled in value, and I think it's going to triple again over the next 3 or 4 years. So if you're thinking about buying a home and you have the ability to buy a home, this is a great time to buy a home, because these prices aren't coming down. These values aren't coming down, and there isn't a housing crisis, on its, or like a housing crash isn't coming anytime soon. I've been doing inspections for a lot of investors who are buying up homes to turn them into rentals. So the two things, kind of the double whammy that's going to happen, is that rentals are going to go through the roof. It's going to become more and more expensive to rent homes because it's going to become more in demand. This is how supply and demand works. When you have more demand than you have supply, prices go way up. So all I'm saying is the American dream is definitely getting further and further away from all of us. But if you have the ability to latch on to any of it right now, it really is a good time. And this is going to be interesting to see what's going to happen over the next decade. And please, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just passing on the information and the data that I've been reading and kind of my spidey sense of how this is all going to go. I'm not happy about any of this. Listen up, because I'm going to...
So, yeah, you have a home inspector who does home inspections for people who have lots of means. And he's letting you know that there is going to become a time where people will not be able to have a house, even if it's for renting, because folks are having a hard enough time being able to rent right now. Okay. There was another video where I saw this girl talking about, she was in front of a city council. Let me see if I can find that one. This chick was in front of a city council. This is it right here.
I'm sick of hearing people who have second and third and fourth homes over here complaining that we don't need the housing, that we're going to mess with the traffic. Guess what? I'm on the verge of being homeless in a couple of months because I can't afford to pay $1,500, $1,700, $1,800 working for a nonprofit. So please, can we do something for the actual low-income people that live in this community? I'm sick of hearing the wealthy come in here and say all of these things when you're not going to Village Green. Half the kids in Village Green right now are knocking on the other complexes' doors because they don't have food in the summertime. So what is the Hyannis Town Council going to do for those people? By the way, that proposal about cameras all over the place, you all have a very small community of color. Placing cameras.
Yeah, but you get it. The housing crisis is really bad. It's really bad. Homes in my neighborhood of Chicago are damn near about to go. How these houses were probably in the low 300s a couple of years ago. And now some of these homes are about to start either selling, or their value is almost at $500,000. $500,000. We're going to have homes where nobody's going to live in them, whether it's for rent or whether it's to live, because the cost will be too high. And even, I believe there's a scripture that says that in the Bible, how they will build houses, but nobody's going to live in them. Where is that else? Yep, Zephaniah 1 and 13. It says, therefore their goods shall become a booty, and their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof. And that's the point of it. They shall build houses, but nobody is going to live in them, because the cost of everything has just skyrocketed. It has gotten completely out of control. It does not correspond to a wealth or a financial system that's backed by anything, because our dollar isn't really backed by anything. It's supposedly backed by oil, but even that's gone away. So what is the dollar really backed by? Nothing. And this is why you have prices that are completely not proportional to what they're supposed to be. And now you got homes that are on sale for $500,000 that shouldn't even really cost more than maybe $200,000. And this is why you got the homeless crisis further increasing, which the scripture says is a shameful thing. As it says, it's in Proverbs, I believe. Nope, it's in Ecclesiasticus. Sorry about that. I knew it was in one of them. All right. It says Ecclesiasticus 29 and 22. No, 21. It says the chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing and a house to cover shame. But we're in a time where folks will not be able to have a home. And see, this is going to cause create an extremely hostile atmosphere, because see, now you're talking about people who can't afford a place to stay being constantly in an environment exposed all day by the dangers of their environment. Because when you don't have a home, you're exposed to the elements. Okay, your safety is jeopardized. So there's really there's no type of mental relief, no type of physical relief. And this is going to get really ugly, really, really ugly. You heard what that woman said, because folks are so poor. Look at this. Verse 24, for it is a miserable life to go from house to house. For where thou art a stranger, thou darest not open thy mouth. Okay, them folks was going house to house, she said, in the condos, because they ain't got nothing to eat. And why is it they don't have nothing to eat? Because they got to choose between food and they got to choose between a place to live. And 9 times out of 10, a person is going to choose keeping their belly full than keeping a roof over their head. And like the man said in the video, this is only going to get worse. So that's all I wanted to say on this. Hope you all ratified. Till the next time, we're going to say shalom.